Chasing souls with fire inside, chasing dreams where the legends hide. Through the turns, the glory's real. Behind the wheel, we feel the thrill. Papa's house, the crown shines bright. Crazy lanes in the dead of night. Austin GT and Rick B's rain. Grim and the crew driving it insane. Erratic twists and Marley's groove, with Nani's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin. C20 wave, buzz the track. Touchies roll, there's no going back. Worries pace and TQ stride. Nil and digit, the kingdom's pride. Papa's house, the crown shines bright. Crazy lanes in the dead of night. Austin GT and Rick B's rain. Grim and the crew driving it insane. Legends carved on asphalt's face. Racing royalty holds the space. We honor them, we join the scene. Our favorite racers, the speed supreme. Erratic twists and Marley's groove, but Naughty's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin. Erratic twists and Marley's groove, but Naughty's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin. Insane. 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 Erratic twists and Marley's groove, with Naughty's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's your boy back, VKG in the house, in the seat. I got my SimBros shirt right there. Check that out, man. Shout out to SimBros. Shout out to SimBros, man. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of SimBros in here. Our simulation brothers, your spot for everything sim racing related. We got one of their team members today, my boy Hefe, my boy iRisk. You guys seen him on the last Behind the Wheel live, but we're gonna dive in deep with him one-on-one all the way from Maryland. I'm really excited. This has become one of my closest friends in the streamer community. But first, I want to say hi to Stephen Warhawk, Mr. GT7, Ricky Rez Racer, and everybody who's jumped in. I see Iris is in there, GT Juggalo, Blanco 45. It's good to see y'all. Thank you all for coming in. We got a special show today, and I'm just honestly, I'm grateful to be back. And before we get started, I want to shout out to one of our brothers out there in the community, Mr. Eric, Papa's House of Games, who's recently suffered a tragic loss of his beautiful wife, Susan. So we're praying for you. We love you. In the links and descriptions on my profile, I have shared the GoFundMe that's helping with the funeral costs and everything that goes to that. So we're going to be taking a moment of silence a little bit later for dear Susan. But just so you know, everybody out there, we are hurting a little bit this week, and I wanted to lead with that. So I love you, Pop. If you get on here and you're watching, everybody on the PH team, I appreciate you guys. But let's get down to business. We got again a very special guest, somebody that I've actually met in person and spent some time with, and I can vouch that him and his beautiful girlfriend, they've been together 5 years. Absolutely amazing couple. This man has been a big help for me from the beginning of my sim racing career. He's been out here doing it for 3 years. Without further ado, I want to introduce to you my man, iRisk It All Racing, Mr. Hefe himself. What's up, brother? How you do it?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Yo, VKG, Travis, man, thank you for having me, dog. I'm excited, dog.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited too. It is good to see you, man. All the way from Maryland. What's the weather like out there?
I think it's like 60s. Right? You know, it's hitting. You know, hot days with cold nights.
I see you. I see you in the hoodie. We're just getting into fall, just starting to break out the
Mm.
hoodies. I tried to wear my hoodie last week, and I was not gonna lie, I was sweating the whole time. The haptic vest was kicking my butt. But I see you in the hoodie. I know you got a bunch of stickers on there from the expo, and it was really cool to meet. I see the iRacers Lounge. I see the Huskenveld. Those guys. What was it like, man, coming back now that you've gone to the SimExpo? Like, where's the energy at? What do you got to get next?
What did I get next was as soon as I got back, I got the VRS pedals. I went there. It was that alone to be able to go to a place to be able to try equipment before pulling the trigger and making the purchase without, you know, just relying on video unboxings and reviews. I went there, got to try it out, and I got the pedals, dude, the VRS pedals. That was something. It made me excited. It made me appreciate the bass that I do have. I think the DD Plus for the price range, it kept up with a lot of the high end equipment that was there.
I realized so that I had the same kind of thought process with my wheel actually and my rig. You know, when I went out to figure out what I needed and kind of decided what I was going to buy, I wanted to, you know, I always live by like, you know, you buy cheap, you buy twice. So you want to get quality. I know you're a mechanic, you're a self-taught mechanic, but I wanted, so you probably appreciate this. I wanted to make sure I had like my base right. So I got the GTO Mega Prime, I got the DDF1, I got like the 20 Newton meters. I thought it was going to be crazy. But then once I tried the rigs over at the expo, I realized like not everybody is running everything at 20 Newton meters. Like a good 8 to 12 is like where you need to be, and then the quality of the feedback itself, and then having a quality rig to kind of mount it all to. And I realized like we're not too far out. We're not too far out. It's those motion rigs are one thing, but when you're for what we do, this is still, I think, probably the optimal setup, because if we're sitting here swinging around the whole time, bouncing around, it's not going to make for the greatest content. So I think we're doing all right, brother. I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So all the way from Maryland, man. How's the girlfriend? It was awesome meeting her out at the expo. I hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, we're doing well. Doing good. She's doing her thing. She got a nice little Bronco lifted on wheels, and we're trying to move that along. I'm telling her we got to get in on the content creation, because we can make something happen with that. So
have you gotten your
we got
hands
something.
on that Bronco? I'm sure you have. Just knowing you.
Uh, that's in the works. So that's in the works. So long story short, she rest in peace to her father. He passed away not too long ago, and that's what she inherited. So it's to her it's something very special, and God willing that she was able to keep it. So now anything that gets done to that car is going to be done with the utmost quality, and it's going to be a working out by the time it's done.
Well, I know you're good at what you do. You're a diesel mechanic for public transportation. So shout out to you, man. And you were telling me that's something that you've self-taught. You were actually breaking out your mechanic Bible, I'm gonna call it. Uh, this man is a YouTube University sensation.
Right here.
I got some projects he's built.
Yeah, car Bible. I got all this stuff. I got all kinds of diagrams. You know, I could go into that, but
real motor junkie, man.
Everything you need to know about a car, there's a diagram or there's some kind of definition explaining the depths. I got equations, all kinds of stuff. I love it, man.
So mechanics kind of been the thing for you? Is that what you do like full time? I know I got a lot of pictures of a lot of project builds that you've done. But
yeah.
How long is this? Is this like, you know, starting as a kid, you were taking apart, you know, I was taking apart like VCRs and stuff, and that's what kind of led me to
same thing. Take apart everything. You know, when things transition to like DVD players, the VCR got taken apart. When things got transitioned to streaming, the DVD player got taken apart. But as a kid, the only toys I had, man, was cars. Was toy scale cars, and then from then on, it's just, you know, I bought my first car at 16,
Man.
and then from there, it was I had to work on my own. Things were rough.
What was the first car at 16?
92 Honda Accord Coupe.
I see you.
Speed.
I was in a 97 Accord LX with a B16 swap. slammed to the ground, couldn't even get your foot under it. And this is Fast and Furious era, you know, this is like, you know, early 2000s. Had the big Titan 2 wing on the back, had the 17-inch Koenigs. It was purple and gray, man. I had a Flowmaster, like 35, you know, millimeter, like big old free. It scraped everywhere I went. I set off car alarms everywhere I went, and I was one of those guys, man. Like if I came through a parking garage, it was wang, 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 wang. Try to set off as much as I can, and unfortunately, I wrecked that car on Cinco de Mayo, man. I got hit trying to do something stupid going through an intersection, man. So the need for speed is real, my guy.
Yep, 100%, 100%.
So
and that's very era specific too, to have the wing and everything that you said. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I said, I had a big old Superman logo on it on the back window. Superman logos on the sides. I was all into Superman. It was, you know, MySpace era. Had like my whole MySpace built out with like different pictures of my cars and stuff. Absolutely ridiculous. Getting back to
it's
cars,
hard to picture you in something like that, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
dude, I used to be a little race runner, man. I loved the blah, like that was, you know, I had all the import magazines, man. You know, like I loved Fast and Furious when it came out. That was my jam. Like I wanted to get. I still to this day wouldn't mind having like a turbo Eclipse. Like I still think that car is one of the meanest looking cars, especially with the big old freaking Orca wing on the back. You know, to me it looks like a killer whale. Love that car.
There is something nostalgic about those properly era specific 2000s like first Fast and the Furious type cars. They're funky to look at nowadays, but like a one that's well done, it's nostalgic.
100%. And then you were talking about like playing with cars when you were little. Like I remember sitting outside of my backyard, like digging holes and tunnels and, you know, lining them all up, man. And I would lay down on the carpet and get like real close to them and try to get like a real perspective of like the cars driving and drifting and stuff. So the car era for a young man is real. And we got Wrench Wentz in here, so I'm sure she's got some stories, man. She rides bikes as well. You've also been out on the motorcycles, man. You sent me a picture of you out on your 954, said that you had the 929, a couple of bikes, man. Tell me about the bike life.
Oh man, the bike so yeah, just growing up as a, you know, in inner cities and stuff like that, you don't got a lot of playgrounds as far as for bikes. So I learned to ride on a dirt bike, 80, a KX 80. That was super fun, and then upgraded to 125 and then a 250. Those were all two strokes for those unfamiliar. But after that, it went into cars, and then once I got older, my first bike was a 250, Kawasaki 250, something light, and then just promoted. I had a ZZR 600, F4, a Honda F4, 929, 954, and then just say I appreciated the bikes because they taught me carburetors. So that's my whole sentimental value when it comes to motorcycles is that I drove a couple of carbureted bikes and learned how to tinker with them in an era of fuel injection.
Yeah, and that was rebuilding carbs is like a quarterly assignment.
And it's an art too. It's an art. It is an 100%. Art on getting them to flow. Yeah.
100%, man. Like I tell people all the time, you know, I got on bikes early in life. Because I was broke, honestly. Like I couldn't afford a car. So I got a Kawasaki Ninja 250. It cost me like $2,700. And I rode the wheels off that thing. I came from Phoenix and I was going to college in Tucson. So I was driving like 2 hours back and forth almost every other day because I got out of high school and 4 days later I was in football camp. Like I graduated May 27th, had to report to football camp like June 3rd or something like that. So I was at the U early, missed my entire senior summer. So I got that bike so I could like go hang out with my friends all summer long. And I rode back and forth nighttime. I didn't care. I mean, I rode that bike up Mount Lemon. I took it all over the place. Things I wouldn't do with my bikes now because I don't want to risk dropping them and stuff like that. So, have you ever had any scary event? Have you had an accident? Anything that kind of
So I knock on wood, I haven't dropped the bike yet, but I will say that I had two scary events. I learned the hard way about counter steering on a bike. Why you turn left to go right, because if you go left, the bike's gonna throw you the other way. Whiskey throttle, that was pretty scary.
100%. I got a bad story for that. My first bike.
But one time I was on the highway, just obviously doing the speed limit, as I always do, and then a car in front of me had a mattress strapped to the top of it, and the mattress flew off. And
Oh,
yeah, and then I go to dodge it, and it follows me, and so
it's got that like sway.
yeah, so the mattress starts like not you think it's going one way and then it goes the other way and it goes the same way that you're going, but long story short, I was able to dodge it, but it was I pulled over and yeah, I prayed
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's the one where you get
yeah,
that
yeah.
you kiss the ground, man. My very
Yeah, yeah.
my very first 250, like I took the class. I went to the weekend class, arizonariders.com, did that. So I got like my endorsement, and then I went down, immediately had the bike lined up. So drove up to Phoenix, had my girlfriend at the time drop me off at this guy's house. I loved the bike. Obviously, looking at it, had like the black rims. It was blue, and like midnight blue with the silver, streak down the side. Said Ninja, So I got on it, and I was good coming out of like the city streets and stuff. And then I got on the highway, and like I just started coasting to the right, and I'm like, how do I go over there? How do I get back left? And I literally just I let myself, and I couldn't for the life of me remember how to turn. I was sitting here trying to turn the bike like this, and I kept going to the right. So I just slowed down and pulled off. She pulled up and she's like, "You okay?" And I was like, I don't know how to, I don't know how to get over to it. And I'm just thinking in my head, and I was like, oh yeah, push left to go left, push right to go right,
Yeah,
And so
right.
I get back on and I'm cruising right, and then and I remember the next day I go to ride out to like Cave Creek, and I'm riding, and all of a sudden it sputters out, and that Ninja 250, it's carbureted, it sputters out, and I'm like trying to start it. I was like, man, what the hell? I had a full tank of gas. I'm looking at this thing, and this Harley guy pulls up, and he's like, "You all right?" Comes up. He's real friendly. This and this, and I was like, I can't figure out how to start. I don't know what's going on. He was like, and he looks at it for a minute, and he was like, "Well, this is a carbureted bike." So he goes on and he turns the fuel reservoir back to the full tank, starts right up, and he was like, "You were on your reserve tank." He was like, you crotch rocket guys, man, we're always saving. That was like the first vision of the rivalry that I had between like cruisers and crotch rockets, and I took off. I felt super embarrassed. I remember my first oil change. I thought I overfilled it, right? It was above the line, this is a true story. I didn't know how to take the bolt off the bottom. Didn't even have the tools to do it. So I literally
Oh
leaned
no.
the bike up against my back
No.
and walked myself down, holding the bike, and let the oil pour out of the top of the oil filler cap like a whole liter. And I'm just letting it run through my legs, just holding the bike up like in a power squat, and then cranked it back up like that, dude. It was hilarious. Like bikes and mechanics are one of those roads you got to go down. We're gonna be willing to make some mistakes.
That's
Absolutely.
not. Now that's funny. Hey man, but at least you gotta get it done. There's always some kind of solution. But just to add on to what you say, if there's anything I do appreciate about the bike culture, whatever, is just like sim racing, man. You like it's there's like a camaraderie like an unspoken
Oh
camaraderie,
yeah.
right? Like you'll be pulled over on the side of the road, broken down, and if another bike guy, he's gonna stop, bro. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
just. Yeah, like it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that you haven't gone down, man. I hope you keep that shiny side up. Riding is very true,
Yeah,
dear to
yeah,
my heart. I
yeah.
still have a Kawasaki ZX14 and a Victory Hammer. Misa's fall in love with bikes. It's about to become winter season. I didn't get a lot of riding in, honestly, because I've been sim racing a lot. So I mean, to get
No,
back
no.
into why we're here and what we do. Renfresh said, "Turn with your knees." I see you. We're sim
Yeah,
racers, man. We're sim racers now, and we just got a chance to meet at the first ever North American Sim Racing Expo in Chicago, Illinois. You showed up real big. SimBros showed up real big.
yeah.
Shout out to you and OP. Shout out to SimBros for sponsoring a portion and my room and board at the event. So I love you guys, man. I appreciate you guys so much. But tell me a little bit about what that experience was like to meet some people in person, to get your name out there and actually put on the official SimBros swag, man, and do what you do.
Man, it's kind of, first of all, it was one of those things, when somebody comes out with some kind of technology or whatever, you're like, man, I thought of that, man, I thought of that. So with Mr. GT, we're trying to create, the SimBros, some kind of community, whatever. And the big picture was like, Germany gets this huge expo, and unless like just the plane ticket alone, travel expenses, like it's a lot, and then you got to compound that with taking off work. So we're like, we got to bring that to the States, man. We got to bring, like, let's start off by just bringing the hype to the States and whatever, and then when you least expect it, here comes George with the Gaming Expo, and it was just like, let's go, bro. Like, we're not alone, right? We're not alone. We're so excited, and then is when life gives you lemons, man, you gotta make lemonade. So to just go there, shake hands, meet people from the community, actually get to try these rigs that are $100,000, $18,000 rigs. It's just, you don't think you can. You spend hours watching all these YouTube videos, and you're like, oh, that's, I wonder what that's like.
Bro,
like,
for the price of admission alone, like, I mean, I think it was what, like $35 to go in for the day or something like that.
It was like 35. It was like 35, 40 for the day.
You can't get that much fun at an amusement park. Like, I've been to amusement parks, and yes, the fear is real, but standing in 2-hour lines, go to a sim racing expo, and you're gonna 100%. Like, going to a racetrack is one thing, seeing the smells, all those things, but if you want to feel something, go to a freaking sim racing expo. Like, $200,000 pieces of equipment. Like, when and where else would you be able to jump on these things and just run them the way that you want to run them? Like, I was blown away by, like, even all of them were great, but like talking about like the driven dynamics, the SimCraft, $80,000 to $150,000 gyro rigs. Like, when else are you going to get to ride that? And then your brain forgets that you're in a chair. I almost wish they had just containers around them, so that I could forget that people were watching me, and just I would have sat there for hours, getting beat the hell up. But I would have sat there for hours on those things, man. That was wild. Motion is real. Are you gonna try to work your way into motion, or is it, was the bite not real? Because I know, talking to Wrench, talking to a lot of these guys, like, they've been bit.
So ideally, I like how they say, when you're building cars or whatever, like, function over form. So as exciting and as fun as motion rigs are, I don't necessarily feel like it's going to give you that competitive edge. It'll give you more information and whatnot, but I don't think it's something that's going to buy you seconds. Is it something that can prepare you for the track in real life? I genuinely do believe once you get to those caliber rigs, once it won't be a shock to you. Obviously, the G forces can never be replicated, but there is a function for rigs of that caliber.
For sure.
But yeah.
Well, they were talking about, I remember talking to one of the gentlemen outside, and he was telling me, like, these guys are spending like F1 level, GR, any across the board, they're spending $50,000 a day at the track. And that's without a wreck. That's no damage to the car at all. 50 G's on tires, fuel, track rental, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So getting a $200,000 rig actually saves them money, millions, actually, in the long run. And these guys are building these to be fit in their travel trailers, and that's kind of like why the dimensions, they all felt like they had kind of a dimension. And SimCraft, they were the actual official sim rig of NASCAR. Like, they said a whole bunch of those guys have those. And then, like, but I watched Tony Kanaan now, and he was there. I'm F1 Indianapolis 500 winner, and he has the Avini, and he was on the 4 actuators. And when you look at his rig at his house, like, I've watched a lot of his channels now, so shout out to that guy. Really cool energy, to be at that kind of level and to just you realize people are just people, man. He's just a person that,
Yeah.
you know, went down that road in life and he's done some very special things, but the dude's energy was awesome. He had awesome conversations. He was around hanging out with people, but he just, you know, pro racer, and he just has like those 4 actuators. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, you know, like if the pros are doing it, that's got to be tight. I don't have to look out at, you know, if I don't have an $80,000 rig, I'm not meeting the peak of sim. I think the rigs that we have now with the little subtle adjustments here and just a little bit of motion for me, even the haptic vest, is going to be that. And I know that your goal ultimately is to get into a race car. So what do you think is like the path from sim racing to actual race car drive? We just saw Max Verstappen go and do it. You know, he just went out there and jumped into a GR car for the first time and smoked everybody. You know, do you see the trajectory to get on the track from here?
Yeah, so I do, right? First, you know, you got to believe it, right? First and foremost. So obviously, the most common route is just you just gotta network and find yourself a sponsor, right? It's either in unfortunately in today's age, you gotta either buy your way into a seat, or somebody's just got to be willing to put you in a seat of a quarter million, $500,000 car that's gonna, you know, use $10,000-$20,000 in tires by the time you do a couple laps. So it's just developing the skills, developing, you know, the connections that you gotta that you gotta gather to just hop in. You know, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to see what that field and how to get in, how to find the door, right? How to find the open door to open it.
Well, I got a
Get
business
into that
card
next
of
chapter.
somebody you might want to talk to. Another guy at the expo I had talked to, he built I was telling you, he built like Warcraft simulators, tanks, F-22s, F-16, all kinds of stuff. If you were in Afghanistan in the, you know, mid 2000s, you probably were on something that he built. He said, but he got into it, and I'm 37. He got into it at 37. All you need is a sponsor. It's like $2,500 a day, you know, and you can go out and you can start tracking cars, man. So I think obviously for us, you know, Gran Turismo and console drivers, there's another level, another step we have to take. And you've started to take that. Actually, recently this year, you got into the
Yeah.
PC side of things, and you've gone from the console, which is, and we'll talk about that. You see, you've been on console, Gran Turismo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way from the PS1. You know, always been on a controller and got fast on that. But you're evolving very rapidly, even in the content creation over the last 3 years. In the last year, you've made some major jumps. Tell us what it's like going from the Gran Turismos into the iRacings, the LMUs, the ACCs, and kind of what to expect for us, what we can expect in that transition, and how that's helped you.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is just how every step you get humbled, right? And I appreciate it, right? Because because that means there's something to learn, something to improve on. So when you're on controller, there's no online multiplayer, so you think you're the king. You walk AI. You like, oh, this I put it on. AI's got to be harder. And then it comes to multiplayer, and then you're like, oh snap, you know, there's actually people that are quicker. And then you work your way up the ranks, and you end up being amongst, you know, the top 100, top 2, 300, and that itself is a milestone. And then you jump into another platform like ACC, even on console, and now you're back and you're struggling again. You're like, oh man. So in the more real and the more immersive it gets, you start to realize that like the skill gap grows and grows and grows. And now in iRacing, like it's a game that came out in 2008. It's old, so I'm not even a year in, and you know the competition out there, they've been there since 2008. So we're talking what 30 what yeah, like 13 years or something. I can't do math right now, but
It's been around for a minute,
yeah,
man. Been around for a
yeah.
minute. I'm going to be. I got the PC, so I'm going
Mm.
to be making the jump. I'm pretty sure. I was looking into it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do LMU or iRacing. A lot of the people that I've met recently from the expo who want to give me the help and assistance that I need, I think, are in iRacing. Obviously, you're in iRacing as well, so I'm still teetering, man. Now that Battlefield freaking
Yeah.
6 came out, and I got stuck on that last night with you guys,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna stream a little bit of Battlefield, but I'm strongly looking towards iRacing, and one of the reasons that I'm looking to that is because of the help that I know that I can get. And you being one of the people that I turn to for a lot of aid in this from day one. I met you. It's been over a year now. It's been like almost a year and a half. But I met you about a little over a year ago. I jumped into your stream. You were on a track that I was trying to do, and I started asking questions. And then you actually took my content and you started just coaching me immediately. And I think, and after seeing you in person, I realized that like this guy is a natural born coach. Like, tell us a little bit about when you started to help people and why you're helping people and what we can what the community kind of look forward to. Because I want everybody here to know, like, this is one of those guys that's going to take the time out to help you, and you actually enjoy helping people. So tell us a little bit about what it's like being a coach and kind of a mentor to people out there, and why that became such an important thing to you.
Well, without getting too sappy, it was definitely my mom's, man. My mom, she always says something where one person can eat, two can eat. So she was always willing to help, always to give a helping hand, and because you just never know what somebody's going through or whatever. So fast forwarding to when I became a mechanic, I was making $7 an hour with my first job, and I got my first car. I go to ask for an oil change and a tune-up, and it was like $200-300, and that was like two paychecks, so the math wasn't mathing. I'm not going to work two paychecks to get an oil change and a tune-up,
Yeah.
so it just taught myself, so on and so forth. And then when I started growing, people around me, friendships build, relationships build with I like the analogy, right? When somebody jumps into, let's say you've been on controller, you jump on a wheel, and it humbles you, and then it kind of takes away from the fun, because you're like, I thought this was going to be fun, and now you can't keep the car on track. I like to bridge that gap where I speed up that process so I can get you back to having fun, right? So same thing, if you had a car and you're like, man, I don't think I can keep the car. I'm like, man, that's really simple. This is how you change a tire. This is how you do oil change. This is how you do the thing. So now because oil change and a tune-up is a couple hundred, and that might be your car note, So now that month you got 2 car notes worth of expenses. Now, let me assist you. This is how you do it. I'll show you how to do it. When I started building my tools, I would tell people the price that I would charge to fix your car is just buy me the tools, right? If the job costs $500 to do, just buy me $500 in tools, and I'll do it for you, and I'll walk away with the tools. Or when I had the tools, I'll say, I'll walk you through it, and you use my tools. And I think that's something for me that it was always natural. I enjoy it. I just maybe being self-sufficient, things along that nature. And just showing people that they can do it, man. Just subtle things that really go a long way.
One of the things that I love about you, man, and I told you this in person, is, dude, you're so cool. Like, and I didn't mean that by like, your appearance, like your nature, and when you're hanging around with you, like the vibe is chill, and you're so giving. I mean, just the willing, like, hey, OP, you guys leave your stuff in my hotel. No, it's all good. We'll meet over here. We'll do this. No, it's all good. Everything's all good. Everything's always, super cool with you. And your help with at the expo and the podcasting and just all the aid that you gave, you guys bringing me this out, the shirt, all the love that I got from SimBros, like the vibe from you is real, man. And that's one of the things that I know the community appreciates about you. But one of the things that I think it was Wrench said when we were doing the podcast was, everybody like is who they are. And that was one of the fascinating things, about meeting Zilla and meeting Eric and meeting Captain and GT and, and all you guys. It was like, wow, you guys are like real people. And that's one of the special things about this community, man, is especially when you're on here, I'm approaching like 500 videos, and when I look back at that, like, that's a lot of hours of time. That's a lot of my life that's on this platform here that I've shared and spent with you guys. And I look at the people who are in here, shout out to Misa's in here now, but Wrench and Gars and Zilla, I spend more time with you guys than I do with a lot of my outside life. And me and you were talking before, like we kind of come from this nightlife world, where we're out there causing a little bit of trouble. I got some graphics here. It's stuck on this picture here, but I want to kind of show people don't understand what makes us humble people. And I got this picture up right now that you were showing me, and we were talking about humble beginnings, and being genuine, and where that true caring nature come from. And I know the feeling of this all too well, man. So tell us about this picture, and kind of where you come from, and how, and I think it'll help explain who you are.
So, one of the things I never want to do, I never want to over glorify or make it seem like uh, uh, a lot of people have it worse, and every step of the way, I just, I felt blessed. So this part right here was just more of a dysfunctional household. So I couldn't, I wasn't in the right state of mind living at home, so I had to leave, and I had nowhere to go. So, but in this was a shop, some Khmer people, some Cambodians. They took me in. It was pretty cool how they took me in. We met at a AutoZone. I was at an AutoZone, just all greased up, buying parts, and I had a cylinder head with me. And the guy just looks at me. He's like, "What are you doing with that?" And I'm telling him, I'm just trying to match up the gaskets because I'm not trying to walk back and forth, trying to make sure the parts are right. So he walks me over to the shop that was down the street. He's like, "Well, I got this, and I got the shop." If you're looking for employment, so on and so forth. And I explained to him my situation. I was like, "Yo, I got nowhere to stay right now." So he's like, "Don't worry about it." He's like, "Just sleep here." And he pulled out that cot. So, and then from there, it was just, I had my own little shop. After that, I had my own little shop for a while. I learned how to weld there. I learned how to build cars. He literally gave me the key. I don't know what he saw in me, man, but he literally gave me the keys to the front door, bro. He was like, he's like, just run the shop, man, from 8 to 5, and just, don't set it on fire, and then from there. So that right there, that's what that was, and that was just, yeah, me. I slept in my car for a while. But yeah, that I don't know where that came from, man. You sometimes you think you get stuck somewhere, and you like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and then things like that. It just, I don't know. I was at the right place at the right time in that particular moment.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, man, I know the smells, I know the sights, I know the feelings, I know the loneliness. I've lived a tough life, man. And so when I meet people, like, real recognizes real. And I think that was right off the bat for me and you, when
Yeah.
we met, man. And it's been an awesome friendship. So I appreciate you sharing that. When I talk to people in the beginning, when we're getting the show ready, and now you realize, like, all the stuff I put into the show, and like getting the background and the pre-interviews and all the, building this out and getting to know somebody for real, because that's what this show is about. It's about, we can sit here and we can glorify all the things you've done and all the wins, and I got stats here. We've been playing this game for a long time. You got all this cool stuff. You play all these different games, but behind the wheel, behind all that, is Jeff. It's this awesome guy who comes from, really cool places. You said you've been in Maryland since 2019. Went out there thinking it was going to be like a new change, new everything, and then boom, got locked down with COVID, but you still, you had to break out. You had to let that personality out, man. And I appreciate you doing that. Tell us a little bit about what it's like. You were born and raised, like, in New York, in the tri-state area, right? So you got that New Yorker vibe to you. Is Maryland like that? Do you mesh well with those folks out there?
Yeah, nah, it's nothing. There's nothing like New York, man. New York is obviously post COVID, the whole entire world changed. But before New York is it's a hustle and bustle. Every New York is so expensive. Before you leave the house, you're already in the hole $30-$40 with tolls and gas and bus fares and food prices and all this stuff. So you gotta find a way to make a dollar, man. And I do appreciate what New York taught me as far as that. I moved over to Connecticut. Connecticut was a lot slower, small town, and more projects and things of that nature. But I miss New York when I moved into the small town, because there's just that hustle, that rush that you get in the cities, that it's nothing like it. But it taught me to appreciate peace. And there's something that I don't know if anybody's familiar with, an individual named Sadhguru, but he said something that really, like, it shifted something in my mind. He said, as intelligent as humans are, and the technologies and the things that we're able to develop and the research that we're able to go through, we spend our lives hunting and searching for peace. But then you look at an animal, right? Something that humans could take to extinction, something that people could put in a cage and monetize off of. The piece is just there, right? They wake up, they eat, they're fed, and then they're just chilling. You look at a lion, he's just chilling. When it's time to mate, when it's time to hunt, they go hunt, they do their thing, and then what do? They just chill. So peace, you can never buy peace. It's just there. It's just there. So that right there made me appreciate tranquility, and just a peace of mind, not looking over your shoulders, things of that nature. Not worrying, always just take it down a notch, right? Like slow your roll. And even to the sim racing, right? Slow is smooth is fast. So
Right. Right.
when you get those fast laps, you actually feel like you drive a little slower. So like I think that's a pretty good analogy just to explain the transition from a big city to a slower city. Now when I came to Maryland, it was I had a shop. I shared the pictures with you, but I did have a garage. And then I was able to live off of it on my own. And then the goal with the garage was it was a house that had a store in the front, and in the back it had a big lot. It had a big lot with a two bay garage. Um, so so with that, the front store, I was living in the store. So the goal was to make like used race car parts. I was gonna sell used race car parts. Fast forward, long story short, I go to the shop one day and I got cleaned out. Everything got stolen. So you your mind jumps to only one kind of solution, right? It's got to be somebody I know, and I gotta get what's mine back. So, but then it clicked right there, like you're not gonna get peace, bro. Like no matter what route you take, if you're gonna just there was the only solution for peace for me was just to accept it. And then by coincidence, I just had some families down here. I came to visit Maryland, and Maryland was it was cul-de-sacs, bro. Like the suburbs, it was green grass, howdy neighbor, how you doing, all this kind of stuff. And I thought that stuff wasn't real, so I needed it. I just pulled the trigger. I gave away all the cars that I had. I told my friends, here, have it. I'm out. They didn't. Everybody thought I was gonna move back. Like Jeff just needs a break. Jeff, he gonna be back. It's
Like a
been
midlife crisis.
yeah.
No, that's
Bro,
been I'm out.
yo,
I'm
I
going to
packed
find
my
happiness, man.
yeah my PS4, my TV, and my clothes, and that's all I put in my car, and
So that's
I never
that's
looked
back
back.
in 2019. So we're what? We're in
Yeah,
2025 now. So you
2025.
you
Yeah.
met did you meet the missus before the move or after the move?
After the move. Yeah, we met after the move.
And
We met 2020, like spring, early summer 2020.
you guys, man, you guys are a special couple. Like you got to ride or die, man. Like I want to shout out to her.
Yeah.
I know she'll get to watch this sometime. So hi to you. No, but just thank you for the extra footage. Her having your back the whole time. There's something about a woman empowering a man to do what he does, and then to see the energy that we project from that. And watching you do what you do, and I know just from talking to you, you gained a ton of confidence at the expo. We were both outside of kind of our comfort zones and kind of just
Yup.
freestyling this whole thing, man, and kind of bouncing, ping ponging off each other on what we should do, man. So has that been a part of the change, man? Is her, and like where's that going?
Yeah, I mean, going for the long haul, bro. I love it to death.
Yeah.
The relationship is one of a kind. It's something to I pray for it, right? I did. I said I spoke I spoke to my guy and I told him I'm ready. I'm like no more games, no more bullshit, like no all the typical stuff, just somebody. I was like I'm ready and I'm gonna put my all into it. Just you bring me somebody, and then I met her. I met her,
That's
and
what's
she's
up.
been super super supportive, bro. Like sometimes you got the stigma, like, oh, my boyfriend, all he does is play video games, blah, 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 this and the third. I try to do my part when it comes to the relationship,
Yeah.
and she pays it forward, but she doesn't bother
You
me,
got
bro.
to even more, man. Like I try to
Yeah,
rush. I try to rush home and get all my man chores done, get my hubby do list done, so that
yeah,
I could be on this. Like even and then
yeah.
including her in. I know you're talking about trying to get her on the rig. Like Misa has fallen in love with this stuff, and I'm blessed because it kind of gives me this corner of the house that I need to operate my space. But is she into the sim racing and the video gaming at all? Is that something that you guys share?
Yeah, I think yeah, she likes it a bit. I think it's a bit sometimes, it's not she doesn't have the same passion for it as I do, but yeah, she'll get on it here and there and have some fun. But she likes we play games, but more controller based games like story mode games, co-op games, your couch party games, things of that nature. But she does like to travel a lot, and explore, and she has brought that out of me. So, because I was just okay with just being home. I was okay with like just working,
She's
and
staying
stuff
out
like
of
that.
trouble.
So right.
It's
So,
nice when you got a partner in crime that just wants to veg out with you, man. Like that's me and Mesa, bro.
yeah.
Like our date nights, like we're cool hanging out with each other, watching a movie, and that's once you find your best friend to kind of spend your life with, man, life gets a little bit sweeter. So I think one of the things that I had put into this, and I just want to take a moment to say hello to the chat before we get too far. Eric B, Samo, Gars, Blanco, Yaki. We got Mike Henderson in here. What's up,
Wait,
y'all?
let me
Good
cut
to
you off
see you
right there.
guys.
Gars, that's my nephew right there.
What's up, Gars?
Yeah, that's my nephew right there. He in high school. He got into a vocational school. He's doing the mechanic stuff too, man.
That's what's
I
up.
hooked him up with some tools. But yeah, let's continue shouting out everybody that's in there.
Shout out Gars. Shout out Gars. We got Zilla in here too. Just seeing you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. We're doing this for you guys. It is about you guys. We're having this conversation, but I do want to do a better job at being more inclusive of you guys. So if you got any questions and stuff, always pop them out. We're always open to questions because we're just cruising and chilling here. But I think it's super important to understand kind of the psychology of the man at home sitting in these rigs streaming. And I think that's one of the things that
Yeah.
really bonds us all. After talking with Eric and learning Eric's story and learning Zilla's story, learning Blanco's story, like a lot of us are staying out of trouble. A lot of us are content with our lives. A lot of us are good being home. And I think our counterparts appreciate that. I do struggle with managing my time a little bit. Being a content creator and feeling the pressure of being a content creator is real. There's
Yeah.
obviously a portion of your life that you got to dedicate to that. Like I was on the rig yesterday playing with some folks. I was in some lobbies, and Misa was actually playing the other night. It was a little rough, but playing in some lobbies, and someone was like, "Well, why aren't you streaming right now?" I was like, I'm just enjoying it right now. You know what I mean? I'm chilling. I do enjoy this. Like streaming has been something I added to that. And I know we do the extra things like, what you're doing, all the special projects that SimBros are doing, where you've kind of transcended just the individual identity and gone into kind of networking a little bit more. But I genuinely love this, man. I genuinely enjoy this. And I feel that vibe coming off of your channel. And after 3 years of doing this, you must enjoy it as well. So how do you balance, I guess, content creation versus what you're doing for yourself? Are you fueled every day by getting on and being more competitive, or are you fueled every day by coming on and seeing the people, or is it a mix of the two?
It's definitely a balance of the two. Because I love racing. I love I trying to improve my craft and whatnot. But I do, like I said, I find myself getting like a bit of a high when I take somebody like we're just gonna use iRacing because it's what I'm presently doing. But on iRacing, you got the Mazda MX-5s, right? In the car, when you first get in it, it's a super slidey car, and you just like, man, this car just does not stick to the road. And I'll talk them through a couple points, do this, brake and steering, so on and so forth. And then out of nowhere, they go from hating the car to like, man, why did I even spend this money to like, oh, like, dude, like iRacing, just finishing a race is like feels way better than winning a race in GT7. but even in GT7, like it was like that. Like let's say you're just stuck at a whether it's DCB A or A plus, when you're like right at that brink, right, to cross over to that next rank, but you just can't, and you finally cross over, and then one race just bumps you right back and deletes all the progress you just made, is getting people over that hump. getting people just like, I love doing dailies, but anytime there's GR4s or anytime it's GR3s, so on and so forth, I can't keep up. Okay, well, let's see what's going on. You help them out, and then out of nowhere, they improve, whether it's time, consistency, or even the mental state. The racecraft and so on. That's right there is my biggest enjoyment. It's just turning it to fun again, right? Like not making it feel like a chore, because it does feel like that, especially when you want to improve. Like you got to get on, you got to practice. Like you got to practice to just maintain your rank, and then it's like now you don't want to race anymore because you don't want to lose your rank, and then how's that fun?
Yeah.
Like
You know what's crazy? It blows me away about you, man. Is every time I ask you about you, you always associate it with what you're doing for others. And I think when I look at like channel growth and we do sub counts and we look at all this stuff, I'll pull up these stats again. You've been on here for 3 years. You're about to celebrate that 800 sub marker. But
yeah.
every time I get into it with you and I talk to you, it's not about like the growth of the channel. It's about like you spend so much time on individuals, and you're not charging for this stuff. You're not out here. You're not one of those guys that's like blasting like tutorial and how-to videos and hey, this is what I do. You should do it as well. You're one of those guys like if anybody comes and asks you a question, you stop immediately and you focus on them. And it's an awesome thing. I saw it at the expo. I saw it just in the extra time that you took to spend time with me, because I was struggling. OP was struggling. I got video of you just literally sitting there on one knee for an hour helping us how to log in to iRacing, how to even do this stuff. And the crazy thing is like you kind of just learned this stuff yourself, and it's a testament to the way you do things in life. You said you've always been a hustler. You've always been making moves, always been making things happen. And maybe that's just the New Yorker mentality, because every time I meet somebody from like the Tri-City, anytime I meet somebody from the East Coast, really, there's a hustle and bustle to them. There's like but you've turned that into, it's not just you, it's about everybody else, man. I just want to thank you for that again, man, because I think it's really cool. Every time I ask you a you question, you make it into others. But I want to shout out, because we're talking about humble beginnings, and one of the themes of this episode is sim racing saving lives, and we were looking at you sitting there having to stay in that room and start over and all the new things, and you're running a Fanatec DD Plus with a SimLab GT1 Evo, a Sparko R100, and VRS Pro pedals that you said you got after the expo. Let's talk a little bit about your rig now and kind of where you're at, because I mean, when you look at the room you were staying in and now you're looking at the room you're sitting in, like, this is one of the special things about sim racing, man, is this is not a cheap sport. This is something that you really got to dedicate and invest in to be competitive. And I'm looking at this smile on you here, man. I had to throw that in there, because you look so happy, man. And tell us about this equipment and what you're running here.
So at first I started off just like everybody else on a controller. And then in 2021, I found the job that I'm currently in, and it was just a huge leap. So I'm a diesel mechanic, just real quick, but that gave me the opportunity to finally purchase a wheel. So I was just like everybody else. What wheel should I get? The best budget wheel, right? It's a G29. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
So the G29, but it was like
It's a gateway
350
wheel.
retail. It was 350 retail, and I go on marketplace, and people are selling it for like 250, 300. I'm trying to find it for like $50, and like it's not happening. So
That marketplace lowball is real, man.
yeah, so it's not happening. So I'm like, if I'm willing to drop 350 on a G29, I'm just gonna save up a couple months more and get the Fanatec DD Pro, and that's what I started on. I started with Fanatec DD Pro. 5 Newton meter. I didn't get the booster pack, and with the FGT Lite foldable chair. And if you're looking for back problems, get that. The chair is fun, but like maybe an hour or two. Anything more than that, your back is numb. But
It's
anyways,
not a streamer chair, that's for sure.
yeah. Anyways, so now you go down the rabbit hole, man, because now there's load cell pedals. Oh, okay, now you got load cell pedals, right? But now we got to reinforce the rig because the pedal's too stiff. So thankfully, I had a buddy that I met. I was a cashier at Giant during COVID. I was an essential worker. So the
So
so
you didn't get to take all the time off, man.
nah, bro. I was in there. It was
COVID
my
was
fault
weird,
why
man.
it was my fault why there was no toilet paper on the shelves and no hand sanitizer. Bro, I got the brunt of it, you know. But so he had a rig and then he was moving. So he sold it to me. He was I was fortunate enough he gave it to me on a kind of a payment plan, word of mouth. He took my word for it, and then yeah, I got it, got the rig, slowly paid it off. As the years went by, I was able to purchase an apartment, a condo, and then once I got here and got stabilized, I upgraded the wheel, and then and you guys are here. When I first started streaming, if you go back and just see just for the heck of it, go to like my very first maybe 5 streams. It's like 720p with like the attempt of a green screen and just horrible quality, horrible audio. And then I moved to here, and it's just a plain wall and so on. You know, and then yeah, I just wanted more immersion. I wanted more immersion. I got the DD Plus. I got it on Marketplace. That's one thing I do want to. If anybody out there cares, like I
Mhm.
have no problem buying used electronics.
Yeah,
I know I know.
marketplace specials, baby.
I know it's a risk, but like I grew up like when we were talking about cars and bikes and stuff like that. I don't think I paid more than $1,000 for a car until I was like 22, dude. I was trading left and right. The Honda F4 that I got that for a PlayStation 4 in a TV with like the move in the camera. I messaged the guy. I tell him I was like he has the bike up for sale, and then I was like, yo, you want a PlayStation 4 and like a whole setup, a whole gaming setup for the bike? He laughs at me, right? And I call him. I managed to get his number. He's like, bro, like, are you serious? He's like, he hangs up on me. He calls me the next day asking me
It's
if I
like that.
still
You
wanted
got to
the
plant those
bikes.
seeds, man. You got to plant those.
Yeah,
That's part of hustling, man.
yeah, right,
It's never a no, man. It might be a not right now, dude. I have
yeah.
been a marketplace hustler. Like I was telling you, if 2020 didn't bring out the hustle in you, you didn't have it. And I mean, I was doing therapy at a behavioral center, and they cut our hours. You know, they couldn't have any more than like 4 clinicians in the building at a time. There's like 8 of us, so we had to split the week, so we got cut to like 20 hours. They wouldn't let us do telemed, so I was like, you know what, F this. Like I'm gonna go, and I took like 5 grand that I had, and this is after I'd already, you know, been hustling for a little bit. I took the 5 grand that I had, and I started flipping. I started flipping cars. Probably done about 60, 70 cars. But when I started flipping, I had $500, and I was like, man, like I need to make some money off of this. So I ended up buying a quad for $500, and the guy had a little like a go-kart sitting there, and I was like, you know, you want to throw that in? He was like, yeah, I'll throw that in. So I took the quad, I gave it an amazing detail, sold the quad for $1,500. Took the go-kart,
Yeah.
repainted it, put like a Hoosier stencil on the tires, freaking took apart the Predator motor, completely rebuilt it, cleaned it out, changed all the gaskets, you know, took off the governor, took off the restrictor, you know, bored it out a little bit, you know, put it all back together, and then sold that for like $500 by itself. Took that 2K, bought a Honda like Accord. It was like a 97 Accord. Bought that for like 1,500, sold that for 22. Bought like a Mercedes CLK. I think it was like the 200 series or whatever. $2,500. 4 days later, sold that for $5,500. Like the hustler mentality is real. Even with my rig, like I had a DJI Phantom 4 because I used to do crop videos and like real estate videos, and I sold that, and it, you know, worth some money. Sold or traded that for the rig, and then my CSL Elite. And then I think I got V2 pedals with that, and then just slowly keep buying, selling, trading. And even with my DD1, you know, I had bought like a Vulcan for Misa, and she wasn't riding it a lot, just kind of sitting there collecting dust. So I ended up trading that out and got, you know, some cash for that, and got a, you know, top of the line wheel. Like people need to understand, man, buy, sell, trade, barter. If you haven't seen Barter
Yup.
Kings, man, you need to watch that, because Barter Kings will light you up.
Yeah, I watch it. I'll take a gander at that. But yeah, like you explained it the best, man. I got we could probably go back and forth with the kind of deals and stuff. Like I drove a car for a year that I paid $100 for. The guy thought it had a rod knock. It just had you know. So he's like, oh, the junkyard's gonna give me $100 for it. I was like, oh, I'll go drop it off for you. So I just
Oh
give you the
yeah.
$100. You
I
know,
got
and then
a Ford Focus SVT on the low. Like she was like, it won't shift. You know, it won't rev high. And I went and looked at it. I was like, you probably got some arcing coils in here. You know, sure enough,
yeah.
man, changed out the coils, ring, and completely I cleaned that thing. I detailed the hell out of it. I plasti dipped it all black, put on some white racing stripes, painted the calipers red, took the rims off, dipped the rims all black, like cleaned off, found out like it was all really nice and stuff because it all at SVT stuff. Cleaned that thing up,
Okay.
sold that for $5,500. You know, like
Where
people, I tell you what, when you grow up the way we grow up, man, you learn to take things and bring out the best in them. You know, and that's what I think. That's what I think I see when I see you, man. In your channel is it's a quality place to hang out. And I always feel, you know, even hanging out with you guys, I'm finding, you know, I'm hanging out with you guys on Discord. You, GT, Gibo last night, like just hanging out playing Battlefield, man. It's nice meeting humble people, man. It's nice hanging out with humble people. So I truly appreciate you taking this time and hanging out with us, man. Is there anybody in the community that coaches you? Is there anybody in the community that you look up to?
um yeah. In the present time, there's somebody in the community, SimBros community. He's a 5K rated driver. I do actually have a coaching session with him later this week. But before that, I was in another Discord community called iRacing. They took me under their wing. They definitely, with the coaching I got from there, they brought me to the A+, but not only there, but made me a consistent A+ driver. It's just sometimes it's like I call them like the American Idol judges. Like you never see them sing, but they they know how to make great, you know, great singers. Because they know the science, whatever, and all that stuff. But yeah, I have been coached. I have people that have had, you know, stuck by me. You know, they'll see me sometimes. They won't even go on chat. They'll just wait until I hop off, and they'll be like, "Yo, this, you know, do this, do that. I noticed this, that, and the fourth." So I pass it along, right? I pass it along to the best of my abilities because it's just a lot of people don't have it out there, right? Some people just, you know, we got life, we got responsibilities, kids, things to take care of, loved ones that, you know, may require extra attention and so on and so forth. So you don't have that extra 30 minutes, an hour to watch a course or watch the course and then drive and then watch the course and then drive and then really understand and dissect the information. So like you said, people jump on and be like, oh, turn five here, there. What? I'll be like, oh, this is why you want to do that, so on and so forth. I just pass it along. Somebody took the time to give it to me. I gotta
Right.
pay it forward, man. Yeah.
That's how I am, man. I started this. We both started this for similar reasons. Like video games, and I made this analogy earlier. It used to just be this box sitting on your, you know, your under your TV with the cord coming out. You try to imagine, you know, being in a different world, slaying dragons, playing basketball, football, whatever it is, you know. But in this, there's a lot more to it, you know. So when I started, it was to try and connect with others who were doing it as well. And I know that, you know, you kind of started to connect with others as well. So it always blows my freaking mind, you know, when I see the community jump in. You got Autumn's in here, High Octane's in here. Shout out to you, Moto's in here, LVP still hanging out. You got those people that genuinely
Love you.
like just hanging out, man. That's the beauty of this whole freaking world and playing games and living in the immersion of it. So tell me a little bit about, you know, we see these logos up here. We're talking about SimBros. Tell me a little bit about the SimBros, who the team is, what you guys do, and kind of where SimBros is taking you guys.
It's Simulation Brothers, right? We had that joke. We had that joke last night, but yeah, man, it's just a community. I really like what other people do when it comes to like community-based coaching, you know, things of that nature. So when even when I was on Gran Turismo 7, when I would host open lobbies, half the time I'm probably not even on track. I'm watching somebody else, like, you know, you know, or I really enjoy following people. If anybody has ever been in an open lobby with me that was just for fun or whatever, I've probably been on your bumper and I'll stick to you like glue. And sometimes some people wouldn't like it, but I would do it on purpose because that's what I saw would give me a lot of wins. Is that I wouldn't even go for an overtake. I'm just gonna hawk you down like glue, and I know you're staring at me, and you're just gonna make a mistake. So if I do that with you in an open lobby, it's gonna build that skill to just be comfortable, hold your line, right? Drive as if nobody's there. And anybody's like what watch initial D, right? You got to drive like you're the only one on the track, even if there's 100 cars around you. And that's a very hard skill, I think, or habit or technique to really um, sharpen. So when it comes to the SimBros community, that's what I want to do. Like I want to create a place where you come in. Yeah, we're gonna race to have some fun, but you're gonna have something to take away from it, even if it's a 5 minute session, even if it's or an hour long. Like you're gonna take away something from it.
And everybody in there like knows that. Like in those servers, when I watch you guys race, man, it's you guys are trying to sharpen each other. You guys are trying to be legit contenders. How big is SimBros now?
Man, it's growing quicker than I thought. Right now we're at like 182,
Wow.
183 members. Uh-huh. And yeah, so now it's like you were talking about earlier, like time management and stuff like that. You try to there's a balance. I made a decision with the YouTube that I just don't look at the subscriber numbers, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just because it does. I was at a point just to be real, I was at a point where like you kind of like look at other content creators and you kind of have like this like, oh, but I'm faster than him and he has all this, but I got better equipment than him, and it's like I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I was
human
like, what am
nature
I?
kicks in. You
Yeah,
start with
yeah.
numbers. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing to do with numbers is to compare them. That's why I turned all that stuff off, dude. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful to have anybody come hang out with me. Like I remember, like I said, back in our day, it was, you found everybody by where all the bikes were in the neighborhood. That there was
Mm-hmm.
one kid on the block who had a Sega Genesis or had a Super Nintendo, or the new PlayStation or the 64, and you hung out with them like it was shoulder time. So when I look at the channel, man, I don't refresh it because so it always says that there's one person in the chat. I don't look at the number. I don't put the sub counter or any of that stuff on the and I
Yeah.
started that way because when you first jump into this game, you're like, what's everybody doing? What are the little extensions? Or what's Streamlabs capable of? What's OBS capable of? Oh, here's this ticker. Oh, let me make sure I got the YouTube counter. Oh, let me make sure I got how many people are watching, all that stuff. And then what you do is you find yourself, instead of focusing on the game and the people who are around you, you're focusing on who's coming in next. Who's the next person coming in? That's why I like hanging out on the quote unquote smaller channels or whatever, because I really think that's the actual community. Those are the
Yeah.
real people. Not everybody is the Rorys or the Supers or the Digits or all these guys that have tens of thousands of people. It's us. It's the guys
Right.
who have been hanging out here for a year and a half, and you don't make life-changing income off of it. If anything, you pay your internet bill, or something like that. You get yourself a new little piece of equipment, but then you find yourself supporting all these other channels anyways, and that money just
Yeah.
keeps getting rolled into itself. So it's kind of like just a membership and the cost of doing business in this little space that we're in. And I remind myself all the time, like, I have that Kobe Jordan mentality. Like, there may be one new person today. That's why I play my song. That's why I do my intros. That's why I keep the repetition and I keep the genuineness of each stream being like the first stream, because, and I was talking to Grovers about this the other day, like, so what if the numbers dip at this time? So what if, like, who cares? What matters is that you are enjoying doing what you're doing, and people
Yeah.
around you
Yeah.
are going to
Yeah.
appreciate that, and that's what it is for me, man. So I appreciate when you say that, the numbers don't matter and you stop looking at that stuff, because I really want to remind people that that is the one, not the one, but probably the biggest psychological negative
Yeah.
of being a content creator or being in this space, is not allowing yourself to feel pressured or depressed even because you don't have
Exactly.
numbers. You know what I mean? Like,
Cause we gotta be real, right? Cause like if when you attack something, like right, there's a goal, and then now you're gonna figure out the steps to get to that goal. So like if your goal, like if my goal was I want to have by the end of the year I want to have 1 million subscribers, so on and so forth. Streaming the hours that we do is not the fast track to that. So
no.
like so it's the same way. You're gonna build a rig. What do you want? Immersion, competitiveness, functionality, cool bells and whistles, and then you work backwards, right, to get to that goal. Me, bro, I just like I said, it's a morphing. The channel has morphed into what it's morphed to naturally.
Yeah.
It started off. It started off just me looking for people to race with because I was by myself. So I'm like I just want somebody else on track with me. And now look where it's come to.
Mm.
So now like you say, I do enjoy seeing the Discord server grow because in a sense it's just the potential to have more people to race with, more people to coach, more people to learn from, and and you just meet people, bro. Like even people, crazy stories, people,
Yeah.
in crazy situations that
Oh,
and
I mean,
it's just
the connection's real, man. Like
yeah,
I'm man enough to say, man, I have genuinely cried the last couple days a few times, even sitting here with Misa, because I'm closer with Papa than just being on the team. I text him often throughout my entire journey on YouTube. I've looked at him as a mentor. I've always said I respect gray beards. You got to, that's earned. That title Papa is earned. And watching the videos of Susan and I'm on their Facebook and his children and the kids, and knowing some of the backstory and how great of a man Papa is. That's one of the very first examples of this transcending, just the cameras and the mics, man. There's real life, genuine love out there, and that was one of the
100%, yeah.
one of the things. The more people you're gonna see a lot of good things, and you're gonna see a lot of
Yo,
hardships.
Monkey King, what up, Monkey
What up,
King?
Monkey
What's up,
King? How you
everybody?
doing, brother? Good to see you. The more
Quick
people
shift, Chris, yeah. And it's crazy
like
to know, like, some of these people to know them by names, or you
yeah.
speak to them by first name basis, like that stuff, that stuff does excite me too a little bit. I'm not gonna
and
lie.
and the more people man, it takes kind of a special
Mikey,
conscious to stay in touch and stay in contact with that. Or
yeah.
how do you feel about some of the negativity that we see, some of the cyberbullying, some of the stuff like that? How do you push that away and keep that away from the community and the channel?
Yeah, sometimes, I think all that stuff is always gonna be on a circumstantial basis, man. Sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches. Sometimes you gotta ignore it. Sometimes you gotta fight back. Sometimes, so as far as the way that I've managed it, I think you and me can relate. Probably a lot of us can relate to if you're a content creator. When the negativity shows up in your channel, you kind of want to you don't want to block nobody, right? Because you're growing and all this stuff. But it gets to the point where maybe not blocking X individual or whatever could stunt your growth, and it's just part of it. I hate to see how uh I hate to see that Gran Turismo or the sim racing when some communities just get torn apart or relationships get broken over an on track
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would understand if it's a personal thing. Somebody says something to you, somebody
Yeah.
did something to you, cool. But oh, this guy just drives overly aggressive. Or this guy, he punts me, whatever. The fact that there's people out there like that, and then it turns into something where you're picking sides and stuff like that. So first off and foremost, bro, I don't like the drama, right? I
Yeah.
don't I'm not the arguing and talking over the phone or the text, it's just weird to me.
Yeah.
But it does happen.
I look at people of why are you spending energy on this, man?
No?
Come on. But I've had
Yeah.
to I do I do want to take a stance, and I was telling you guys this at the expo. You know, and it's just in my nature, man. It's in my nature. I want to take a stance against cyberbullying. And I have a unique way of dealing with things. I think in just holy crap. Grover's
we
mental
gotta
pit
give a
stop,
shout
man.
out. Yeah, we gotta
Moto,
yeah,
they're
shout
shutting
out.
down the chat right now. Yeah, thank you guys, man. All this, a lot of
Yeah.
work goes into this. You rarely get a reward for it. The rewards in having the episode with you, man. But thank you guys for donating and helping, because it does. I'm a 37-year-old dude that works full time. I got 4 kids, man. Like I'm not I'm not sitting here like saying that it doesn't help, the channel doesn't help. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Nah, it goes a long way. It goes a long way.
And on this topic, you know, I talk to Moto a lot. Moto is one of my favorite people in the world. Grover is one of my favorite people in the world, and I know they stand in unison too. When, you know, there are people who are out here, who are introverts, who have never been in touch with this many people before, who took a risk, you know, just getting behind the camera and doing this stuff. And that's why I'm so fascinated with like learning the stories behind people and like getting people to know. Cause like, I hope just from today, someone learns, you know, something about you. Like, you know, Risk isn't the, whatever, maybe they thought differently about, but Risk isn't this cocky, flamboyant, arrogant guy. You know, this dude is someone who's come from nothing and has built something around himself, you know, and he's a good person and he's a hard worker, you know, like that's why I'm gonna go support and hang out on this guy's channel. Like I want people to know more about me, that I'm not just Viking King, man. I'm Travis, you know, I used to have some muscles. I got a little bit of muscles left. People think I'm this, you know, giant in life. And I tell my boys at my facility, like, you know, if you carry yourself as a mental giant, the world will always look up to you. You know, if you carry yourself as a mental weenie, people are going to find reasons to look down on you. You could be 7 foot tall and people are going to find reasons to pick you apart. So when you get out here in this community, man, being yourself and being humble, and if you see, you know, bullying, and if you see things like that, like at the very least, you know, you can disengage from that. But I try to meet it all with positivity, man. I try to love people as much as I can, because I'm straight up, I'm done with negativity in life, man. I've been a pro fighter. I've fought in the streets. I've fought to live. I fought to survive, man. And honestly, I just want to enjoy myself racing and have some fun. And I think everybody in the community here, pretty much everybody that I've seen, I mean, Yaki's still in here, Hoctane's in here, Monkey King, all these guys, awesome, positive people, man. So SimBros, shout out to you guys. You've been nothing but a positivity. I didn't know you guys were rolling at 180 strong. That's a super huge network. I know talking with you and OP, you guys have big goals and stuff. Is there anything in the mix you guys are looking forward to? Is there anything you guys are working on, any projects wise?
Man, we got another expo coming in North Carolina, May 22nd. That I'm gonna see. You know, see if there's a possibility out there to get sponsored, or something, right? Just some kind of network, some kind of assistance to be able to participate, because it is quite a bill to travel and the hotels and, you know, just the merch and everything. So, you know, you at least to like a break even or something, right? But that's the goal. The goal is to see if like I have enough, if I have enough, if I've met enough names to see to the potential to maybe represent another company, so on and so forth. Or
Well, I can guarantee you can. You know, I've been working on some projects, man. I've been talking to a lot of people, and one of the epiphanies that I came to after, and shout out to OP, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the $19.99, the $20 dono. My guy, OP, you've done more than enough for me. I appreciate you, brother. You don't have to do anything else. I truly humbled and grateful. That guy is an amazing person. I got to sleep next to him, you know, in different beds in the same hotel room, man. Like, and like, you really get some shoulder time when you're laying back staring at the ceiling talking about life to another grown man who's just, you're both dead tired. You just traveled across the states and you're just like, yeah, man, you know, this and this. We're talking about, you know, trying to conquer the world and our families and juggling all this and our families and being away from our families. All that stuff.
Nah, but yeah,
Shout out to OP.
Yeah, it's yeah. Nah, shout out to OP. Man, like first of all, shout out to the Real Squad Racing because there's a bunch of man the energy over there, the welcoming, how welcoming everybody is. So I met OP obviously through Eric B, and me and OP, man, it was kind of like a day one thing. We just clicked it, and then and we've grown is and now we're both on iRacing and just OP, man. I just want to thank you, bro, because there's it's there's a certain there's only so much confidence I think that somebody can have until somebody like there's an external part of it, right? You can believe in yourself to a certain point, but when you got other people that believe in you, bro, like it does help. And a lot of you have helped me be confident in OP, bro. Like I could literally, even though it's virtual, you've been by my side for like a new chapter in this, and man, it ain't. I'm gonna find a way to pay it forward, dog. Cause yeah, my shout out to OP though.
Shout out to OP. Like honestly, kind people, man. Like in TK's, was another one that I can't thank enough. Just everybody, man. Even Papa, PhD, like that whole trip we're talking about. It ain't easy getting out there, man. It's expensive. I mean, the hotels, the everything. I mean, just Ubering around all the place. So shout out to Mr. GT, driving us around in the M5, man. That was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
it ain't easy. It ain't easy. But I was getting on this. I was getting on this topic earlier. I've been really.
What's up, David? David, what's up?
Who's in there? Is David?
Yeah, David Schechter.
My chat's behind. My chat behind. My chat's way behind. What's up, David? But I was talking to people like there's so much opportunity. The hours and time that you spend, the platform, your personality, all of that is marketable. I want people to get their minds around, having the potential to not worry about, it's awesome to get donos and it's awesome, shout out to OP, shout out to DCR 92, Moto. Thank you, Grovers. Like, thank you guys. DIY, thank you guys. Appreciate that's my son. Appreciate you guys. But there's so much more ability in marketing, and I think get yourself a part of a team. Get yourself a part of. Put your name out there. Get associated with the network, and send out some emails, man. Just reach out to people because if anything, I realize that the expo is probably a lot of money went into that expo to get in front of 2,000 people. Like you guys are doing that. And if you want some help with that, man, get a hold of me. I'm working on some things and I'll have conversation with folks. But anybody out there who's looking at getting to that next level, there's a lot of opportunities. We got you popping up with the admin box. I know that was a good conversation that you guys had. I saw on your rig right there, you got an admin box set up.
Yeah.
Actually, take a moment, tell me how that's been working because I'll shout out to those guys, man. We could tag admin box. I've been chatting with those guys too, man. Have you used that yet? That was one of those things at the expos that, never really thought of, but it seemed pretty dang functional.
Yes, there's on camera. So admin box is really to sum it up.
Not yet.
Really to sum it up, it's a very specific product. It's just what for those in Gran Turismo 7, right? When you host a lobby and you're the server or the host, right? If you want to kick somebody or you want to spectate the race or that stuff, like you can't participate in the race. It just takes one more person out of the race. So in iRacing is kind of the similar thing where if you want to caution flags, black flags, penalties, drive-throughs, waiver rounds, all the administrative stuff that comes with racing. This lets you do it while you race. Now, I have used it as far as testing it, but those are where with iRacing. It just dropped a new update, and with the new UI and the revamp that they've done with iRacing, it's caused a bug that doesn't let it work, but it's already been fixed. We're just waiting for the next update, the next patch, so it can start working again. But it's an awesome product. It lets you, like, if there's a penalty by accident or whatever, and I can remove a penalty, I can add a penalty, I can create a yellow flag, single line, double line. I can kick somebody out of a race. Is somebody
I don't know if
like
you, yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the favorite part. You could black flag someone and get him out. I
yeah,
had said that
yeah,
on my video when I was doing the admin box video. Like he
yeah,
looked like he had fun, like kicking someone out. I saw you
yeah.
last night. Was it the Dunwivern gaming controller that you had? Is that the same
Oh yeah,
company?
yeah, yeah. That's this right here. It might be a little bit too bright, but yeah. So it's
That thing is cool. Did you have an advantage last night on Battlefield? Do you feel like that was the way you're gonna go?
Yeah, so yeah, the advantage is the mouse, right? You can aim with the mouse. Now, what the keyboard allows for me to do is just like I put my hand wherever I want to, and then I'm like, if I want to jump, like you just whatever I just put it to whatever button I want it to be. It doesn't. I don't have to learn the the WASD with the shift and left control and the Q and the
Yeah.
E. It's not natural to me at all, right?
Shoot,
But
man, look what I gotta do. I gotta mark my keyboard with like tape. So I can't-
yeah, nah, you see what I'm saying? And then you gotta learn, and then half the time you're like,
I got a gamer keyboard
yeah,
too, but I never use it because it's
nah,
like having the two keyboards, and like the gamer keyboard never has all. I just it's a hassle to me sometimes, the PC stuff. But yeah, man, we met all kinds of people at the expo. Like shout out to 4D, man. I've been rocking the
yeah.
4D
Shout out to Wendy.
shoes, man. You got the shoes?
Yeah,
Heck yeah. So shout out to
yeah,
4D, dude. That guy
yeah,
was amazing. Working on some things with him. I really like the padding and the heel. That was money. That was money. Like
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
idea was absolute money. I've been running them hard, dude, and I don't have any real like rips or wear tear or anything that I can see that would be concerning. It fits like a glove anyways, it's not like a shoe, but I can
Great
get it.
bro too.
Yeah, dude, it fits great for me.
Yeah,
So, and then
yeah.
I got the haptic vest. I'm talking with I'm
Ah,
talking with Woozer. Dude, this thing is insane. And just all the new potential for partnerships and product testing and things like that. And just starting to scratch the surface. Shout out to Auto Joe. Thank you, man, for the $5 donut. I appreciate you. Love you, brother. One of my bearded brothers. But there's all kinds of opportunities with these companies who are trying to get their names out there. Lighting. Whether it be Fifine Music, the Obi-Soft cameras, talking with Built PC. Like I don't know. You gotta be able to market and sell yourself. But I think
yeah.
the community should really open their mind as to what kind of potentials are out there. I've been blown away since the expo, man. I can't wait to get to the next one. I don't know if I'm gonna make the North Carolina one because again, you know, that would have to be a fully sponsored thing. So if the community wants me out there, man, I'll go. I'll be the guinea pig and I'll work my butt off. But I spent probably no lie, I spent probably 25 hours editing like the expo video, and I learned so much more about what I would do and how I would attack that and the footage that I would get
Yeah.
and just the audio and all the because my audio was shot. You had the nice DJI mics. Those things are guys. If you're gonna get mics, don't get I got these Kooky Ho mics, and then they're dope. They work, but in the noise, they didn't have great noise reduction. But I was listening to your audio on those DJI mics, and those things seemed amazing.
But yeah, even like so right now, like to get on a personal level, and I know probably a lot of you could relate to this. Right now, what I'm dealing with is having the content, but feeling like it's just not good enough to put out. So OP, that's what I'm saying. That's why I shout out to OP again. He had a conversation with me. He's like, man, just do it, bro. Like just good or bad, just put it out, bro. Like stop. You kind of get
Yeah,
this.
because it could always get better. You
Yeah,
sit there, drive yourself nuts, just editing and
yeah,
cutting and editing and cutting but it's time, man. It's a lot. So when people
yeah,
see that and when people support the channel, it really does. It really does help, and we are truly grateful. I'm truly humbled and grateful. Anytime one of those checks come through, it helps with that stuff, and I feel like obligated, to a certain extent, a little bit of pressure to put some things out there, and especially with going to the expo, that was one of the things that I wanted to put out there was appreciation to every solitary moment that I could put out there, and I know you were doing the same, man. So I'm excited. Are you guys is North Carolina gonna happen, or is that something you guys are just working on?
we're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our best. Like what you're saying. I'm taking in what you're saying right now. We got to do our outreach, see, market ourselves, see what we can do. But I mean, push come to shove, yeah, I'm gonna find a way to go. Because I feel like I feel like I have to. To be honest with you, I like this field or industry or whatever you want to call it, this
Yeah.
niche. It's super niche, and I like it. I feel like I'm good at it. I feel like I have something to offer, and it's just finding a way to package it and market it and just,
I
you
think
know.
you do too, man. I think the iRisk brand is an honorable one. I think you got something there. I think your face is getting out there even more. We're all super new to this. We're all growing. And it's only more evident when we meet in person and we're kind of running around trying to scramble. When you really see people behind the camera, even watching Eric and all of his gadgets and everything he had, and meeting Wrench and Blanco and just kind of watching everybody move and then seeing the product, like you really understand how much work goes into it. And I have a new appreciation for all those guys that spend the time doing that. And that's why I always try to tip my host. I try to support whenever I can, man. And if not, do shout outs and shares. And it's really cool to see who your supporters are and who has your back, man. Is there anybody, as we're kind of coming to the end, we always like to talk about, people to shout out to, and then we'll definitely get into the origin of the name. But I think with all the folks that are in here right now, I see Mike still hanging out, Mr. GT, Quick Shift is in here now, Zilla's up in here, Eric B, all those guys that we're talking about that have really helped us along this way. Let's take a little bit of time to shout out to them and give them some thanks, man, before we wrap up.
Yeah, nah. The I have an appreciate a huge appreciation for the community, man. Like the biggest takeaway, the most fun thing about the expo was just meeting and hanging out with you guys, bro. Like even like with Blanco Ranch, Zilla, Eric, Captain Morgan, um, my I'm probably missing up church, and we actually met somebody there, who's coming to the community and is going with us. So that's all cool. And then Mr. GT, we met in chat. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Manny. He does Fortnite, G Gran Turismo
Yeah,
7,
man,
whatever.
these
But
cool
we met.
peeps.
Yeah, me and Mr. GT,
Fast.
we met.
Crazy fast.
Yeah, yep. And that's why I would watch him too, right? I would watch guys that were faster and just and pick apart their techniques. But I met Mr. GT in a many chat, and then this was like 2 years ago, like just goes to show. And then now look, we're, lack of better words, we're co-founders of SimBros. And then with the power of putting minds and people together, we were able to, sponsor you to go out and make it happen. We're able to get, man, we there's people that have transitioned into iRacing with us. I like to believe simply because of the fact, because we took the leap, right? We took the leap. They saw firsthand we enjoyed it. They came along, and or we're giving people ideas on pedals and bases. We're helping people put rigs together. You got a budget, we apart from the racing stuff, we just always try to lend a helping hand and guide people in one way or another. Shout out to RSR, shout out to Eric, a couple uh to those of you who we've had one-on-one conversations with, gotten deep with when it comes to life and things we go through as individuals. Those moments, man, they're irreplaceable. Apart from that, man, everybody that streams, makes content, man, just keep it pushing, keep doing your thing. Let me go through the chat over here because man, it's so hard to come up with
Oh no!
everybody.
Shout out to
We got
Zilla again, man.
yeah,
Speaking of RSR, like love that guy, man. One of the
yeah, yeah,
founders as
yeah,
well. Love meeting him. Absolutely great people. Thank you for your support
yeah.
always. They got
But
you got
even
Crooked up in here, man.
yeah,
Crooked
shout out to
Crooked made the
Cookie.
LMU jump. He ain't never looked back.
That's what I'm saying. So like, is it, man? I think anybody that transitions over to those titles, we think that we're gonna go back to GT7, and I I I don't want to ever make it sound like GT7 is not a good game. GT7 is a phenomenal game. It's get in and go. It's just enough of a of of skill that's needed to be good at that game, where it makes it a challenge, but also it's fun, dude. Like
It's
you
definitely
can
the
race
gateway
with
sim.
fans.
It's the
Yeah,
gateway
yeah,
sim, man.
it's the gateway sim 100%. You know.
I think when you meet everybody had to have start on Gran Turismo. I mean, unless you're
Yep.
just like, you know, a new age gamer who just got a PC and started racing PC and never touched console. I think for the most part, everybody has that PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. At some, I mean, that's 30 years of gaming.
Yeah.
You know, that at some
Yeah.
point somebody's come across that game, and it's truly amazing. The movie brought it back. I'm excited to see what, you know, Gran Turismo 8 brings, but again, I'm ready. I'm ready for that jump. I'm ready for that PC jump, and again, grateful for the community. Excited to expand the community and meet new people, you know, because when you start a new game, you meet different community members because the algorithm's going to push you in different places. So really excited because, you know, predominantly GT community. We'll see what happens when I stream some Battlefield. See who likes that. It'll probably be like a, you know, back to 3 or 4 people, and that's cool, man, because again, it's about the growth, it's about the adventure. Where did iRisk It All originate? How did you come up with that name? How has it become your identity? Because I mean, everybody calls you Risk now. Nobody even calls you Jeff.
Yeah, so that was actually one of my first coaches, one of the first people that would actually sit down and like, and it was kind of with the same nature that I would coach others with, which is majority of my sessions, bro, they're unscheduled. It's literally like, hey, you know, we just jump on Discord or something, and you just happen to be racing, and I'll just jump in and watch you, you know, and then I'll ask, you down for some input? Can I give you some? If not, because not everybody likes backseat drivers, right? But anyways, his a lot of the reasons why I would struggle to get out of B or get out of A or cross over into A was I would just always send it, you know, but like I'd go for these crazy overtakes, crazy dives, crazy things, and then so he would call me the Superman. He would say, "You need to get rid of that Superman syndrome. Like you're not like there's only so much a car can do, right?" And then yeah, that's where it came from. I kind of like trying to get a little, I was like, what can we mold this into? And then we just risk. He's like, oh, risk it all. So my name before I risk it all was I buy crypto coins. I mean, it speaks for itself. I was a crypto dude, you know.
I had
Yeah,
a Shiba Inu hooked me up, man. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. And
yeah.
I got a little on Doge. I got into Doge. It's funny when I go back and look at my Robinhood. I got into Doge. It was I think it was 5 zeros, and then it went up to, gosh, I jumped out. I jumped out when Elon got on SNL that night. You remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that night? I got out because I thought it was going to tank, and then it went up to like 27 cents. I would have made, I mean, I would have made 50 grand, you know, and
Yeah.
off of almost nothing, you know, I'm talking off $100 bill. I would have made like 50 grand. It was crazy. And then Shiba Inu, I made a little bit. And then when I got hurt, I had to kind of, you know, liquidate everything that I had, you know, and I was out of work, I was on disability, you know, and I had to cash out all my crypto, man. But that's funny that you mentioned that. I didn't know you were into that. You're definitely someone who pushes the limits. And the cool thing about it is it's calculated limits, you know, like, you know what you're doing, you know, the risks you're taking, and you gain a lot of information from those risks, and then you pass it on. So we're all forever going to know you as Coach Risk, brother. And I appreciate you. We'll take this at the end, man, to thank everybody who was here. I'll let you kind of take the floor to your closing statements, man, and I'll let you get back to beautiful Maryland.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. But man, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We got Mr. GT, my nephew Guards, Crooked. Shout out to Crooked. Crooked awesome, man. He's always talking. We talk smack to each other, man. I don't see you on GT7 anymore, Crooked. So you can't. Every time you hop on, he's like, "Yo, where you getting back on GT7? You said you was gonna get on yesterday." Yeah, Blanco 45, cool dude, man. LVP 444, bro. So that's somebody else. I think I've seen him in chat. Yeah, it's a dude. Man. So Otto Joe, So many people here, man. 925 Moto. I mean, wish we were able to go to the expo and meet up, man.
Yeah, man.
Uh, but everybody, man, the just it was a bit. If I could say this, it was a bit sad in a way to leave Gran Turismo 7 because we were talking earlier, just it kind of puts you in a mental state when you're content creating where like you stop doing what you enjoy because you want to just keep the you want to keep chat entertained, right? And
Yeah.
it got to that point for me. It got to that point for me. Like when I got into ACC, those that been following me when I got into ACC on console, I got sucked in by it just because it was that next level immersion, and it was what made me happy. And that's kind of where I made that crossover where like I can't worry about the numbers, man,
Yeah.
because I just sometimes I just didn't want to play Gran Turismo 7.
You gotta
Now
you
fast
gotta do it
forward,
for you. I race for me. You gotta do it for you,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
It's gotta be what you love, man. And I see the GT fatigue.
yeah,
You know, I see people who get burnt out. I've even the
yeah,
big creators, man, you know, they're tied
yeah,
to, you know, being here on a very set schedule at a very set time. And I game because I want to game. I game because I got some free
yeah,
time in my day and I got everything to turn on, and I'll turn it all on and I'll jump in and hang out with you guys. Like, I enjoy that freedom. You know, I enjoy being able to do what I want to do. That's why it's Viking King Gaming. You know, if I want to play Clash Royale and stream it, I'm going to do it. You know, I just love GT right now, and I know I'm gonna love iRacing or LMU or whatever I decide to do. And I know my community that loves me is gonna be there no matter what, you know, and if they're not, then hey man, go check out
yeah.
iRisk, go
Even
check out all these other guys and enjoy it.
yeah, but even like yeah. So like to those of you that stuck around from the beginning, thank you. To those of you that lurk, man, thank you. To those of you that just stop by, a quick second, yo, drop a like, thank you. To like just every little tiny bit helps. So those of you that are willing to donate, willing to just help out to continue the channel grow, just for the equipment to just bring that extra bit more quality to the channel, man, thank you. It all goes a long way. It doesn't go unseen. It means a lot. And I mean, to those that are seeing people transition away from Gran Turismo 7, it's just like he said, like it is unfortunate, but it you want a little bit more, right? You always want a little bit more realism, a little bit more immersion, and sometimes it's not there. But I will say this: I do get on GT7, I do get on, but I don't stream it because when I get on controller.
Yeah.
I got my little alt account. I get on, I have some fun.
That's the love
You
for
know,
it though. That's the
yeah,
genuine
yeah,
love for it right there though.
yeah, yeah.
Taking the time.
And I see some of you guys racing, and it feels fun just being a ghost
Yeah.
sometimes. Just kind of like nobody knows that's risk. Nobody knows, and it's just kind of
100%
like
Eric.
we're racing together. And but shout out, yeah, everybody. The GT7 community, I'm telling you right now, you guys are the backbone of sim
For
racing,
sure. For sure. For sure.
of the sim racing chat, viewership, and all that stuff. I'm
For
telling you,
sure.
bro. Like
Yeah, you don't
yeah.
see you don't see a community like that in the sim racing world.
Mm-mm,
And you
mm-mm,
know,
mm-mm.
there's other communities out there. There's big numbers, but it's very genuine, you know, and it's a long-term community. You know, it's not like a trendy community. It's the game's
Nah,
been
it's
out for
not
a
by
lot of
any means.
years. Obviously that's a testament to its quality because games burn out all the time. Channels burn out all the time, but the ones who are here to stay, man, we appreciate you guys. iRisk, my brother, I appreciate you so much
Yo,
for being here, man. This was a banger show. You are an absolutely phenomenal person, one of the most humble human beings I've ever met. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing some of your hardships, man. Thank you for enlightening us to, you know, your intelligence and how your brain operates, introducing us more to SimBros, your team, the equipment, bringing us into your home, talking about your relationships, man. I'm very grateful for you, man, and I thank you for being here on Behind the Wheel, man. It's been a pleasure.
nah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for this was very exciting, and bro, what you're doing, like I said, bro, and I'll say it 1,000 times, bro. You created a space where like it's just super welcoming, bro. Like people jump
Thank you, man.
in. It doesn't matter whether fast or slow. Doesn't matter if they even play the game at all or not. I know there's people that just jump in, bro, and they stick around,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
And yeah.
I appreciate you, dog. Thank you so much, man. I'll let you get back to Maryland, man. Without further ado, iRisk is out. What a banger show. Holy smokes, man. Every single time. Like we're an hour and 45 minutes into this. And I mean, I could find another topic to talk about, That's what we do here, man. This isn't about the accolades and everything that you guys can do in front of the screen. We all know that. We watch you. We'll jump on the channel. Go check him out. Somebody please share iRisk channel. I'm sure all of you guys know him, but absolutely awesome guy. Absolutely awesome people. He does risk it all. He helps everybody out there. I'm so grateful for him. We got more shows planned. We got a disabled veterans kind of theme that we're doing. We got a couple of people that are going to be making guest appearances. We got the Goat Locker coming up. We got some vendor shows that are going to come up after the expo. We got a lot of new opportunities. Definitely open to talking with people, to content creators. If you want to get a hold of me and talk about some of the cool things that we got going up, you're going to see equipment popping up. You're going to be seeing new things. We're definitely expanding the capabilities of the creators, so definitely get a hold of me. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for everybody who donated and supporting. It does not go unnoticed. Like Riz said, it means the world to me. And until next time, y'all, thank you guys for hanging out. Grover's, GT78, Eric B. the Realist, iRisk, OP, Crooked, Blanco, Gars, Ricky Rez Racer, Monkey King, High Octane, Crooked, Blanco, Yaki. Oh, man, everybody who came in. I saw Wrench in there, David, Mike. I think I got it. Most people still going up in the thing, but Quick Shift. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And till next time, y'all, Viking King is out.
Racing souls of fire inside, chasing dreams where the legends hide. Through the turns, the glory's real. Behind the wheel, we feel the thrill. Papa's house, the crown shines bright. Crazy lanes in the dead of night. Austin GT and Rick B's rain. Grim and the crew driving it insane. Erratic twists and Marley's groove. Nani's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin. C20 wave, buzz the track. Dutchies roll, there's no going back. Worries pace and TQ stride. Nil and digit, the kingdom's pride. Papa's house, the crown shines bright. Crazy lanes in the dead of night. Austin GT and Rick B's rain. Grim and the crew driving it insane.